Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and today we are going to be looking at the brand new truck, the Boar. However, for a second, I just kind of want you to look at the size difference between the ANK, which I feel like most people would consider to be a fairly big truck, and this. Now this, the Boar, is, you don't really realize in screenshots when you look at it how big it actually is, but my god, it's huge. It's so incredibly huge. Now, real quick, we're going to go ahead and remove the ANK, and we're going to grab the Boar, and we're going to do a full build of it. We're going to be going through all of the customization features, and we're going to be looking at some of the Phase 3 exclusive loads that you can haul using this truck and others. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and fire it up and get into the garage. Also, I love that the exhaust is huge. Now, also, the interior of the Boar, even when it's stock, it's actually a really, really interesting looking interior. Although it is a little bit crammed, that's really something that I feel like you would come to expect with a truck like this. Like, this truck is more of chassis, giant engine, and tiny cabin. It is really and truly all business. Now, let's see, before we go into the garage, let's give this thing the horn test. Bruh! It's not as bad as the International 10x10, but it's close. It's close. I'll let y'all make your own decisions about the Boar's horn. But let's go ahead and head into the garage real quick and go fully through the customization features. So, let's see. So we're running the KZGT 8490 stock, but you can go all the way up to the KZGT 8530T. Now, that's going to get you a S power-to-weight rating, which you may need. Now, the Gearbox Fine-Tune is basically a addition that will be added in Phase 3, which allows you to have your standard low range, and then basically imagine being able to use any range level between low minus and low plus. So anything between those ranges, you'll be able to manually select. Now, we're going to go with the off-road Gearbox currently. Well, let's actually put the Fine-Tune in it so you guys can see what that's like. Now, it does have a raised suspension option, which is available in the new Wisconsin region. So we'll go ahead and throw that on there, and we will sell our stock suspensions. Now, it comes with a 54-inch tire stock, which it absolutely makes the 54-inch tire look like a 33. It looks so tiny. Now, your secondary tire size or your upgraded tire size is a 58. However, one of the downsides to this truck is that you cannot use a dedicated mud compound. It must be a off-road compound, unfortunately. Now, the best off-road compound, in my opinion, is the UOD2 instead of the UOD1 or UOD3. So we're going to go with the UOD2. And winch-wise, you get really one option. And as far as diff lock goes, you have a engageable diff that's also available to be found in the Wisconsin region. Now, snorkel-wise, you have a couple of options: intake air filter, twin tall wedge caps, and stock air filter. We're going to go with the twin wedge caps. And frame add-ons are a log carrier, which the log carrier allows you to carry. On this one, for example, you could do long logs if you get the appropriate trailer. You can also do the seismic vibrator module, which would allow you to search for oil in the Tamir region. You also have saddle high and saddle low options. We're probably going to go ahead and equip it with the log carrier so I can show you guys what that looks like. And then after that, we are going to disable that outside the garage and go with a saddle high so I can show you guys one of the large carrier or large trailer options. So we'll go with the log carrier front. And as far as the visors go, you've got stock sun visor and angled with beacons. We're going to probably go with the angled with beacons. Front bumper, you have crossbar fog lights, reinforced bar, and this one is unnamed as of right now. I like the crossbar with fog lights. So as far as miscellaneous goes, you get the standard air conditioning system. You get the double tall beacons, the raised beacon, the chrome parking lights, side parking lights, triple horns, twin horns, roof fogs, and LED fogs. So we're probably going to go with the triple horns and LED fogs. Now you can do twin flap cap exhaust, twin heat shielded exhausts, or the stock giant single exhaust. I'm actually pretty partial to the giant single exhaust, so we're going to go with that. And then wheels-wise, that's totally up to your personal preference. I'm just going to go with MD rims too. And there are a lot of different color options that you have at your disposal in terms of customization. So we have a few that are a sort of, multicolor color scheme, but I think I'll probably go with a solid color scheme on this truck. And since I don't normally use since I normally would go with red, I'm probably going to go with a orange, maybe even go with a blue on this one. Blue does make trucks look very interesting, and I think either blue, maybe I do like the white. I do really like the white a lot. So let's go ahead and throw beans on the dash, although if you would like to throw the walrus on the dash, you could totally do that as well. Accessories-wise, you have a ton of them. You can actually see up here up top, there's also a CB radio, which is very cool. I'm going to go with the Pine Forest. And as far as curtains go, you have 4 different curtain options. Not really my thing, but you can go with them if you so desire. Now, stickers-wise, you have a few new ones, and of course, the standard ones that you guys are used to. I'm going to put the wolf in slot 1, and I'm going to put the No Road, No Problem in slot 4. Then for exterior stickers, you have a huge selection of basically every sticker you're used to, plus many, many, many more. And wow, oh my gosh, there's a lot going on here. Like, a lot. And you really have near unlimited choice on what you could do. I'm going to go ahead and put the winged mechanic on the hood, and we're going to leave the door slots alone, although they are there if you so choose to use them. Now, there are a few different windshield stickers, and I'm not really a big fan of any of them, but you may be, and that's completely up to you. Now, it does come with the Boar hood ornament, and we are going to leave it there because it really does fit. It fits the name and the personality of the truck. So now we are outside, and I'm going to go ahead and actually skip ahead to afternoon, and because I'm not a fan of these weather conditions, we're going to go ahead and just skip to the next day. Don't worry about it. Let's fire it up. This is fully built, maxed out engine, and we're going to not only see what the cargo looks like, but we're also going to test out this gearbox. So as you can see, there is basically a dynamic range now between low plus and low minus. Now, if you wanted to go with low minus, you could start out in low minus, but you could also go up just a tiny little bit. Now, would this be useful for hauling? I'm not sure. Would it be useful for crawling? Absolutely. Absolutely, it would be useful for crawling, and I can definitely see modders potentially getting into using this gearbox on their trucks once Phase 3 gets closer to release. So let's get backed up here, and trailer store. Now, if we wanted to haul logs with this particular truck, we would go with trailer log pole, and we would go back to the cargo loading area. Now, I'm not sure if this would be enough for long logs. I believe it would be, but this is definitely not going to be a loading truck. This is going to be a hauling only truck. So that is what it's going to look like with the long logs. And as you can see, they do hang over the back of the truck a little bit, but that's fine. I don't really think that that's going to get you into much trouble unless you're going down a very, very tight, difficult stretch of road. Now, once we've seen that, we're actually going to remove the cargo, and we are also going to remove the trailer. So we'll get that removed, and we're going to go ahead and pull out of the cargo area. Remove selected. Bruh. Oh, we were still in cargo removal mode. That's why. So let's go through and remove the, let's see, where is that? Oh, log add-on. Now we'll go with saddle high, and then you could do, let's see, flatbed 5, gooseneck 8, sideboard 5, step deck 5, step deck plain. Now, step deck plain is the trailer I prefer to use with this truck because it really fits the kind of the character and the personality of the truck being this big and this wide, but it also really suits one of the new loads very, very well, which is a giant tree. Now, when I say a giant tree, I'm talking about, like, if you guys remember all the way back to my original Spin Tires video, whoa! You can even actually do separate ranges between automatic and reverse, but you cannot do separate ranges between automatic and high. That's what I really wanted to know. So there's the full-size cabin. However, where is There's the rail section, which is a 5 unit, so you will need at least this thing to haul that. And then, the one we're really going for, hey, packaged sand, that's really cool. The one we're really going for here is, there it is, the sequoia tree. Now, the sequoia tree is probably one of the coolest new types of cargo that we have really ever seen in SnowRunner, in my opinion. And I think it really ushers in that logging dynamic very, very well, and I think it gives you something to do with a truck of this power and magnitude. I wish adding those extra horns improved the horn, but alas, it does not. So let's actually, no, not that, definitely not doing that. So let's see how it drives. Let's see how it drives with some weight behind it, and I know if you guys were on one of my recent streams, you will have seen this truck. However, one of the cool things about this truck that we didn't really get to mess around with on the stream was the customization. Now, you guys know that on my recent stream... Wait, diff lock is only available in low gear. Oh, so the in-between ranges are not technically considered low gear? That's very interesting. Let's get ourselves back up this direction real quick. The only thing that I'm a little bit disappointed with in this truck is the fact that it really does not allow you to do any mud tires. And I feel like that is a huge missed opportunity for a truck like this. I mean, a truck like this that has so much power, so much character, and such an imposing look, I feel like it's such a lost opportunity to not allow it to use mud tires. Now, I don't really know their idea behind that. I'm not sure why that was the decision they made. However, I do suspect that maybe they were concerned that it would be overpowered and would be a little bit outside of the recommended game balance if it had mud tires available. Now, I cannot wait personally for people like Jay Boosted, who is the father of the JBE mods, to get his hands on this truck and really put into, like, basically put into effect what the JBE mods are known for, and that is taking trucks that already exist and basically taking them to a well-known upgrade shop, a well-known tuning shop, and doing everything that the OEM didn't want to do. Now, it actually cruises around in the shallow mud very, very well. I'm going to actually sort of wrap around this direction real quick, and we're going to try it in some of the deeper stuff. Although, I have a feeling that in the deeper stuff, it won't get very far, but I really would like to see how far it will actually get. And in that same vein, if it gets stuck, I will spawn a rescue vehicle. So let's put it in low plus. Lockers on. It's a fully built Boar. Let's see what it can do. Running her through the testing circuit. It's a little iffy. I'm not going to lie. It's a little kind of back and forth on... Well, it starts to sort of do this weird bounce. It gets a weird bounce going, and that kind of made me think it was about to get stuck, but it ended up being okay, but that's a little unnerving the first time you see it, for sure. Putting it through some proper stress testing here in the mud, you could definitely tell that this truck was made for the wild and made for the wilderness. I mean, look what it's doing with the amount of weight that's on that trailer. It's not even really pulling the trailer forwards, it's just rotating it. And when you're rotating a trailer of that size and that magnitude, it's pretty dang impressive. It's really dang impressive, actually. It's still just rotating it. Now, in standard low, with these tires, these are the 58-inch UOD 2s with the max engine, it does do very well. Now, I do have to say, though, that I feel like it would not be doing anywhere near this well without the diff lock. So I don't recommend using this truck for any in-depth missions or any treacherous terrain until after you have that diff lock located in the Wisconsin region. So now, let's take it to another obstacle that I think could pose a very interesting challenge. Now, some of you guys may be like, he's not going to take it to the dips obstacle, is he? And I'm like, you better believe I'm going to take it to the dips obstacle, boy. It's part of our test. Now, I know that a lot of you guys are excited for the bridge jump, and do know that that is coming. We're going to do this test, and then we're going to switch the gearbox out for a highway gearbox before we attempt the bridge jump. However, I really wanted to attempt the dips obstacle with a trailer to genuinely see how this would do, because I had a feeling that the wheelbase would actually be somewhat okay with what we're doing here. Now, it does have a little bit of a disadvantage considering the fact that the hitbox for the engine is very low. So if you even remotely scrape the ground, and I noticed this a little bit driving it around in Wisconsin during the live stream recently, I noticed that the truck itself has a very, very low hitbox for damage. Now, it's almost like if you scrape the bottom of the bumper, that damages the engine. Now, whether or not that is realistic doesn't really matter so much as being aware of it in terms of strategizing your driving. Although, I gotta admit, it did do very, very well through the dips obstacle. So, let's give it a quick repair job, and let's also go into our garage, our mobile garage, swap the gearbox out for the high range box, refresh it, and, oh, crap. I just realized. Go back to the fine tune. Go back to the fine tune. Put it in auto. You gotta be in auto before you do that. The reason why you gotta be in auto is because otherwise it'll lock you out of your gears. But that's okay. So now we're gonna make a run for the bridge jump and see what she can do with 8 gears plus the immense weight of a giant tree trunk behind it. So whether or not this will be successful remains to be seen. The 5600 TS definitely put in a really good show off of the bridge jump, and so I'm really hoping that the Boar can get somewhat close to that level. Now, this thing, it's either going to do one or two things. It's either going to be, like, insane, or it's going to bury the front end into the ground. I'm thinking it's probably going to bury the front end into the ground, but that's just going to have to be something we will wait for and see. Can you go into high going uphill? Yes, you can. Big torque. Big torque. All right, Beans, you ready, bud? Let's go. There's 7th gear. Come on. Woo! Wow. It's still drivable, and it did not disconnect from the trailer. And it went, well, the tractor went over the barrels anyway. That's really respectable. I mean, look what we did with it. Look what we did with it, and look what it just took. It's like, okay, don't worry about it. I'm like, all right. Yeah, I guess I won't worry about it then. Let's go. So this thing did really, really well throughout all the testing. And I know that I said it was a little bit underpowered on the stream the other day when I was testing it for the first time. However, I didn't really have a lot of the upgrades, and I can definitely tell you that with the upgrades, the lift kit, and the bigger tires, it's definitely a very, very, very good contender in terms of heavy-duty trucks in SnowRunner. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And if you are new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell to stay up to date on everything SnowRunner related, plus many other games. And I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to y'all later.